Hi and welcome to ICOformula. This is the getting started quick guide to using the ICOformula platform in mobile view. The layout is significantly different than the desktop view, but with still all of the metrics and details that one would expect to find within the platform itself. So first of all, sorting out accounts and settings. So to get to there, and we'll also cover notifications as well, to get to there, to open up the main navigation, click on the burger menu at the top there, and to get to your accounts and settings, the My ICOformula tab down here, if you expand that, and you can get to account and settings just there. Initially you'll see the account details, which will be the method of registration that you've used, and then if you expand the settings section, we've got a number of options here. So you can change your display currency. As you can see here, we've got US dollars selected, but you can check any one of these anytime you like. And as soon as you go back out, all of the values that are displayed as currencies will change to whatever you set it to. You've got a choice of US dollars, British pounds, euros, Chinese yuan, Bitcoin or Ethereum. And then onto the email settings. We have the daily agenda email. As it would suggest, that's a daily email that provides a roundup of the new listings, exchange, new tokens that have acquired new exchange listings, and information on upcoming events within the world of ICOs. So things like pre-sale notifications, whitelist notifications, and KYC, and so on and so forth. Under that, we have personalized emails that are only going to contain ICOs that you have or projects that you have marked as favorites. We'll show you how to add favorites in just a moment. But essentially what you could do if you wanted is turn off the daily agenda email and just have the personalized favorites coming through. That will notify you only of any ICOs that you've added into your favorites list and all the poignant dates and events surrounding those. The third email notification we have is sent out on any ICOs that are in your favorite section, and you will be sent an email as those projects are listed onto new exchanges. So very useful for projects that have just finished in their crowd sale phase and are going out to seek listings onto exchanges and so on and so forth. As soon as they get listed, if it's within the system, we'll notify you the moment that that happens, so you can get onto the exchange and trade your token should you wish. Under that, we have one final setting for the guided tour. By default, it's turned off for everybody initially, but you can turn that on and off here simply by checking that. We'll turn that on here, so you can have a look at that in just a moment. If you scroll up, there it is. And if it's there, you can either shrink it down, and so it'll still be there to expand out in various different sections across the site for you to be able to scroll through. If you want to turn it off completely, you can do that with the close box, and it'll turn it off entirely for you. But anytime you need to turn that on and off, just come back here and you can toggle that accordingly. Underneath there, we also have a suggestion box for ICOs or tokens that you'd like to see on ICOformula. Please be detailed. A ticker symbol on its own is not a lot of use with the amount of duplication that's going on within the industry. So if you have detail, or better still, a URL to the project in question, please include it in there. Make life a little bit easier and speed the process up. To get to the scoreboard itself, there's a couple of ways you can get to it. You can either, from the top scoring ICOs on the home page, hit the View All button, or alternatively, pull out the main menu and go to the scoreboard. And it will take you to the long list of all of the ICOs that we have within ICOformula. So to demonstrate, we're going to use glue on here at number 5. Two ways to see further information about any given listing on ICOformula. These little red icons over here are the quick view. So if you hit that, it will pull up a brief on the company itself from the abstract, where its rank, what its score is, and it will give you options in the organizer and things down here. So this to add something as a favorite. So let's say we're interested in following glue on and taking part in that particular ICO. To add it as a favorite, first icon on the left there, if you hit that, that will add it to your favorites. And as you can see, the favorite star up at the top here is gone up by 1 to 2. And then the next icon here is to aid with keeping track of what you've done and haven't done with any given ICOs. So the second one you can use to mark that you've completed the whitelist for the ICO, and the third one is for KYC. If you hit that, it'll record it and note it that you have completed KYC. To see your favorites and your organizer in general, you can hit the View Organizer link in this view here, and that will take you through to this page where you've got your favorites whitelisted and KYC all tabbed across the top. You can scroll through there. As you can see, Gluon is in there, having been marked as having done all of those. If you want to see more detail about any given ICO, rather than using the icon there, if you click on the main body anywhere in the site, whether that be on the scoreboard or in the organizer, if you click on the main body of the listing, it will take you through to the ICO detail page. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice is that we have two different scores. We have a relative score and an independent score. Now, we have two scores. Basically, the relative score is essentially grading the ICO or rating the ICO, taking into account and in context with all of the other ICOs that we have listed within ICOformula, to give you a more representative idea of the where it sits in relation to all of the other ICOs that you could invest in or take part in at any given time. All too often when you go to a lot of rating sites, you might see scores out of 5, and a remarkable number of those ICOs or projects are rated 4.5 out of 5. Whilst that's great and all, it's not a lot of use if you only have a finite amount of funds, and they're all rated at 4.5 or thereabouts. Which one do you go for? So hence the reason for having the relative score. Obviously, the problem with that is as you go further and further down the list of ICOs, you'll see that the relative score gets lower and lower and lower, which is a little unfair as far as the independent rating of each ICO is concerned, hence having the independent score, which if you click there, will show you the rating of the ICO without taking into account and context all of the other ICOs within the platform. Be a bit more fair and balanced about the whole situation, essentially. So, scrolling down further, we've got these main boxes here, which are fairly self-explanatory, including the next events that are coming up. We have the abstract of the ICO itself, and a link to the white paper, and then a few more poignant details about the project and what they're doing with all the funds. And then below that we have the calendar and the upcoming dates that you need to pay attention to, when pre-sales are starting, crowd sales, and so on and so forth. In the formula section, we explained a little bit more about the scoring and below the grades that have been given to the various main metrics that we rank and rate on. We have company detail section, obviously all the company links, social profiles, and so on and so forth, all of the team members and advisors. And then below that, we have any social metrics, things like Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, and so on and so forth, and Reddit will come in there. And then we have, in the final box, similar ICOs and tokens and their relevant ratings and rankings accordingly, so you can compare. See the little yellow arrow at the bottom there will take you straight back up to the top. To get back to the organizer at any point, simply come down to the My ICOformula section and expand that, and then go straight to organizer, and it will take you straight back there, no problem at all. If you've got a lot of items saved in your favorites, you have got the search box there as well. To get to your portfolio, go into the main menu in the right hand side from the burger menu and go to My ICOformula and select My Portfolio. And as you can see, we've got a few already populated in here for demonstration purposes. But to use this, let's say for example, we've just nipped out and we've bought some BNB or Binance coin. So to add something to your portfolio, just hit the orange plus mark up the top here, and it will give you the option to select an ICO or token. Obviously, if you're buying into ICOs in the pre-sale stages and crowd sale stages, you can add a token at that point and customize the price accordingly. But in this particular instance, we're going to demonstrate with a live token, which is Binance, and we can select that here, like so. and it'll automatically populate the date and the acquisition price. All of these can be adjusted. So let's say, for example, we've just bought 100 of those, and we can add that there. We don't want to add another. That's done. And on returning to the screen here, if you scroll down, you can see Binance Coin, or BNB, is here. To view that in its own right, just click on it and it will pull you up the chart. Obviously nothing's happened yet, so it's not going to show us any ROI, but it will give you the key details as to the acquisition itself, or the holding itself, and you can remove it using the delete button there if you need to. If you want to go in and see the more detail about Binance itself, you can do here, and it will pull you back the detail page as you would expect. Anytime you need to get back to it, straight to my portfolio, and there you are. Simple as that. Anything you add in your portfolio will also mean that you get notified of it through the personalized notifications anytime any particular holding that you have within your portfolio is added to a new exchange. A couple of other things within the ICOformula platform. We are available on a number of social media channels. If you open up the left-hand menu and come to the bottom here, we've got links to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn pages. If you expand the My ICOformula section, we also have a link to our Telegram community where you can ask us questions and experiment with our new ICOformula bot that will return you brief details on new listings on ICOformula and details about those. Also, if at any point you should need to search for something, you can do that from anywhere within the app with this little search icon up here. Simply click that, and let's say, for example, you want to have a look at gluon in a bit more detail, just start typing away, and it will pre-populate. If you hit that, and it will take you directly to the detail page of the ICO or token that you've been searching for. If you need to log out, got a little log out button up in the top right hand corner there, and if you want to go directly to your favorites, you can do by clicking the star. That'll take you into your favorite section as well. We'll be adding a few more how-to guides and help videos into the section. We'll have a dedicated playlist for user guides on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share the love, as it were, and please feel free to provide constructive feedback. If you'd like to do that within the app, you can do. Just go to My ICOformula and go to Accounts and Settings, and just down here, as I think we've covered earlier, you can suggest an ICO or a token listing, or supply some feedback. If you're providing or suggesting a listing, please be as detailed as you can. A ticker symbol on its own isn't a lot of use because there's a lot of duplication, as I'm sure you will have found if you've spent any time in cryptocurrency at all. So if you can provide a URL or specific detail, it will make life a lot easier for us getting it into the system.